Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Asian Blokes Podcast, a podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time, really. My name is Dan with H. With me, as always, my co-host Thavy. What's up, Thavy?
Yeah, I'm all right. I got a bit of a cold.
Oh, you got a bit of a cold, do you?
So, I'm sick.
Oh, no. Oh,
so
God.
I'm going to be coughing a bit during this episode, you know.
Yeah. Well,
making me not sleep and record a podcast.
you just need your white blood cells to be, like working overtime for you.
Yeah, I guess I
recently watched that Japanese
works.
movie Cells at Work, Thavy, on Netflix. So I know all about
so you know a lot
the
about
immune system and how it
body.
works. You need your killer T cells to be working overtime. You need them to team up with the natural killer. Oh, we'll talk about it in another episode, maybe.
Maybe. just letting loose our material right there. On this episode, this filler episode.
Filler episode? How dare you?
Doing today.
I watched like 10 episodes of a Kdrama to do this, Thavy.
Did you?
Well,
I was surprised you even watched this in the first
It was actually pretty fun. We'll talk about it. So we are going to talk about the K-drama Tastefully Yours that is currently streaming on Netflix. But before we get to that, we've got a bit of Sydney Film Festival news, including my experience listening to George Miller and Hideo Kojima in conversation. And we got a mini review for the Minecraft movie by Thavy. I didn't watch it. Thavy watched it though. So that one's for you, Lack.
But this one's for Lack. This is a special request. Special request for Lack.
Before we get to the main topic of this episode, which is, as mentioned, Tastefully Yours, I will put in time codes if you want to jump around. Yeah. I mean, you had watched the movie before Lack even requested it, Thavy. So you were always going to watch the Minecraft movie. Let's face it.
I didn't watch it before Lack requested it.
Pretty sure you did.
Did I? No, I didn't.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You didn't. You did it for Lack. Sorry.
I did it for Lack. Yeah. It wasn't because I had some substances lying around that improved the viewing experience or made it more palatable, I guess. So I guess I'm talking about that thing first.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah. So the Minecraft movie. What can I say about the Minecraft movie?
You watched it.
I watched it.
It's a movie.
I watched it under circumstances that I'm not sure if I can accurately give a proper review of the movie.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have to be fair because I was expecting to like absolutely hate this movie, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was pretty high when I was watching it. I had the Sunman around, and I think I was preparing for something big, and I needed to do something to unwind. So had some lollies, quotation marks, lollies on the side, and then when we turned it on, we were eating Al Jannah and watching the Minecraft movie. And it was actually a lot of fun.
All right. There you go.
I have no fucking idea about anything in the Minecraft universe.
Yeah, we don't play it.
And you really don't need to. I guess, probably the drugs help. But
I mean, what's there to get though? It's blocks. It's Steve.
Well, for me, the movie's selling point is just it seems like there's a competition between who can outdo each other between Jason Momoa and Jack Black. That's just like this competition of who can
have the most fun on set.
And when I talked about the Fast X Part 1, that was like 2 years ago now, I said Jason Momoa was too over the top. I think that energy brought into this movie makes it work because I feel like I was gonna say Steve Black, but Jack Black. Oh, because his name is Steve in the movie. Fucking I Am Steve. Yeah, Jack Black and Jason Momoa. I feel like they know they are not in a fucking. They're not in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, okay.
You know, they know they're just in a fucking fun ass movie And you can kind of tell in some of the interviews that I've seen snippets of, because
I mean, that's all the promotion is just Jack Black and Jason Momoa being silly in interviews.
Yeah. Jason Momoa does not give a fuck anymore. Yeah, I mean he's 45 years old. I don't think he can be. He's still pretty. Damn
I don't think he's ever given a fuck about movies. To be honest, I like Jason Momoa, so, but I mean,
I like Jason Momoa.
He's not a serious actor.
He's not. Nah, he's not. He's not a serious actor. I mean, he's Aquaman. Yeah. No one really cares about that. But the whole movie is just Jack Black doing quips and doing the memes, chicken junkie and
I am Steve, etc.
I am Steve, and I was on a set the other day, and then when I finished, I was so tired that all I had in my head was the Steve's Love a Chicken song that was just running through my brain.
Oh, he wrote that song, right?
2 hours. I assume so. I assume he just made it up on the spot.
wrote in quotation marks, yeah.
But yeah, as a film, it's a bad film. There's no, it's a completely corporate cash grab,
Yep.
but it kind of borders on the line of my enjoyability with the second Space Jam movie.
Okay, yeah. That's a bad movie, Tommy. That's universally described as a bad movie.
It is just so blatant in its corporateness that it's just it's a Minecraft movie. You can't really hate it because what are you really expecting?
Well, I mean, from the trailers, the visual effects actually look pretty good to me. And I guess, if the movie was going to be good, I would expect something like the Lego movie, Because you've got this world, of true. Creation where, the possibilities are endless. You can create anything. And the Lego movie kind of conveys that really well and also adds in, this heartfelt story that fits with the world. I guess in Minecraft isn't.
The Minecraft movie doesn't do that. It doesn't do that at all.
Right.
They
don't need to. So I don't really blame them.
There's something vague about family and friendship, but it's all very surface level. There is some surprisingly dark humor in this movie. I'd say that this movie is more violent than Shang-Chi. Okay. Because there's some pretty
for new listeners, Shang-Chi is the litmus test for violence in our podcast.
In our podcast, it ranges from Shang-Chi to the sadness.
Pretty much.
The sadness is extreme, yeah.
And Shang-Chi is electric lasses.
Yeah, no, I was honestly quite surprised by some of the. There's actually deaths in this movie, which kind of took me aback. I was like, oh damn, that character's dead. They're pork
But what does that mean though? Have they been sucked into the Minecraft world, or is it like a?
So none of the main characters die, which I'm sure is not a spoiler because it's a Minecraft. But there's these minions, and there's the typical villain, evil villain, main villain that kills their own henchmen at times, and then she kills a couple of them, and then it's not obviously in a super cruel or grotesque manner, but the fact that she actually stabs them, and then some of them are supposed to be quite cute looking characters, but then she just kills them was quite funny.
Okay, but is it like Jumanji? Are these living beings, or is it part of a video game world they're all living, or whatever?
They're all it is sort of. It's more on the Jumanji-esque side of things, so it's not a video game world. It is its own world. And Jack Black will explain everything to you. If you don't get the stuff, the whole movie is just Jack Black saying, that's a crafting table, or that's plinted steel.
That helps me as an old bloke that's never played Minecraft. That would be helpful to me.
He explains so much shit. Whether it's needed or not, I don't know. It's hard to criticize a movie like this because it's just bad. They don't care. But some of the action scenes were actually pretty funny to watch. Some of the music is actually all right. It's kind of that dad rock, School of Rock style. that Jack Black sort of likes. The kids, they're just okay. Like, I'm sure, whether they're good or not, they're fine.
They're meant to represent the viewer anyway, so they don't really need to do anything, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's this one plot point at the start of the movie where I think the main kid, he is too inventive, and then he builds a fucking jetpack for a science fair, but then one of these bullies like snip the thingo off one of the wires because they're jealous, and then it flies off and explodes something up, and it gets grounded. But it's like, if you're a science teacher and a kid of yours has built a functioning jetpack,
that's the best thing in the whole science fair, I am assuming.
It is. It's very 90s. Like, it's something you can pick at, but it is like a 90s film trope. The kid genius. I mean, Ki Hee Kwan was that character, not short round. I don't know, Vietnamese guy.
The good news, Data is his name, I think, Tommy.
Data, that's it. Yeah. I had a lot more fun with this movie than I expected to.
Yeah, okay. I mean, drugs will do that. So.
I honestly, I was expecting to like rip into this movie because I'm conflicted by my enjoyment of this movie, because this movie's success does not bode very well for the future of movies, because it's just going to be more of this kind of stuff. And then there'll be me in a year's time on hindsight saying, I wish I hadn't spoken so highly of the Minecraft movie. But I mean, as a fresh memory, and just it's definitely the definition of turn your brain off film. And it's also in the worst iteration of a Hollywood executive making a movie for kids and then disregarding anything in terms of story, plot-wise, but it's like, it's just for kids. Like, this is that movie personified, There's you will not learn anything from this movie.
But I also hate that mentality of it's just for kids, so it doesn't have to be good, because kids will just watch anything.
Yeah, that is this movie. Yeah. That is this movie tenfolds. Like, when you think of that movie, it's just like that. The dislike of that sentiment, that is this movie. There's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here, but a good, but just flashing lights and Jack Black just saying funny things and Jason Momoa chewing the scenery. That's it. That's this movie. I don't even know if this movie was done well or not, because it's got such a weird fucking reputation in the film world, because
it made lots of money and it got lots of kids excited in the theater. So
because I should absolutely loathe this movie, because there's so much obvious characters running around in the green screen world, but I think it is just the unashamed energy that Jack Black and Jason Momoa put on screen that they just don't give a fuck, man. They don't care, And it's just because you're not a fan of Jack Black, so
I find him a bit annoying, sure. But I don't mind him as a person. I think like he seems like a pretty okay guy.
Yeah, you don't like his comedic or his style.
I don't find him that entertaining.
Yeah, what he brings. Yeah, well, that's like, without that, this movie, I don't know who else could be Steve. Really.
Yeah. I think it's probably good casting.
I mean, it's like a brain rot movie for sure. And even during all the meme bits, that even though I have no idea about any of the lore, I knew all the meme bits because I already seen all the fucking shorts, like, Chicken Jockey and Flint and Steel and Steve's Love of Chicken and Coming in Hot. Yeah, like, I laughed like out loud during all of those fucking scenes, So
if you were in the cinema, you'd be throwing popcorn at the screen.
Yeah, I'd be throwing popcorn, bringing in a live chicken. I guess like we were eating roast chicken while we were watching the movie as well. So yeah, I think I was just in a really good mood when I was watching this movie as well. So maybe that really like just elevated it. It's probably, I reckon if you caught me on the wrong day watching this movie, you'd hear a very different review. It's like it's a 2 out of 5 easy movie. Okay. It's not very good, but it's as a time waster and it's something you want to watch while you get high. Then it's probably
It sounds like there are worse things in the world, and it's given a lot of enjoyment to a lot of kids. So
no, there you go.
Let them have it.
It's kind of like, I feel like this would be this generation's maybe Super Mario Brothers
but
movie,
nobody enjoyed that movie.
Street Fighter. maybe Street Fighter. This generation's Street Fighter.
Would you say it's this generation's Godzilla 1998?
I don't know, maybe not. There's not that much fish in this one. There's a lot of chicken.
Well,
I don't have any more to say about this fucking movie.
There you go.
Let's move
it's
on.
Fine. All right, let's segue then.
So thanks, Lack, for the recommendation.
Thanks Thavy for watching it, so I didn't have to. But no, let's segue into some art house cinema, Sydney Film Festival. I mean, it's been going on for a couple of weeks now. It's at the last day. It was yesterday at time of recording. Sometimes you come to Sydney to check out some movies during this time.
Well, I've been once. Yeah. I would like to have gone again this year.
I mean, I didn't watch that many movies this year. I saw 2 movies and watched one Q&A. The first movie I saw was a movie called Together, which is an Australian production, Australian body horror movie written and directed by Michael Shanks, starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco.
I want to see it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to do any spoilers here because it's not going to come out for a while, maybe in Australia.
I think like next month.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
It comes out in July.
Yeah. But I would say it's quite fun. Yeah. If you're into body horror, it's got that good mix of humor and horrific moments in it. The story is pretty good. It works really well with the allegory that they're trying to convey. And all the performances are good. I mean, the plagiarism lawsuit aside, it's a good watch. Do you know about this?
Yeah, I've heard about the plagiarism lawsuit. Yeah. But isn't the original movie like a rom-com or something?
Yeah, it has a much lighter tone apparently.
It's apparently like a completely different film. But
but some scenes sound like they are very similar. And apparently Franco and Brie was sent this screenplay for the movie Better Half, 2023 film. And they rejected the screenplay.
They rejected it
because they wanted to hire a writer to work on it. So probably more than a coincidence, I would say. But I mean, the movie itself, it's a good watch. I would recommend it if you are a fan of this kind of. If you like The Substance, you'd probably be into this. It's not as good as The Substance, but it scratches that same itch. But the second movie I watched was Angel's Egg, a 1985 animated film.
Oh, that movie. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that one.
Yeah, it's pretty art house. I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
Written and directed by the acclaimed Mamoru Oshii, who is famous for
He's the Ghost in the Shell guy. Yeah.
He's the Ghost in the Shell guy. This one's way more art house than Ghost in the Shell. It's one of those movies where you walk out like kind of scratching your head a bit, not really. It's very, very open to interpretation. There's not very much dialogue in it. The story is, I mean, there's not even that much of a story in it, to be honest. But it is very strongly allegorical, probably biblical in a sense, I guess.
As allegorical as the Minecraft movie?
Yeah, I guess so. The same way that the Minecraft movie is an allegory for God being the creator of all things, I guess. Yeah. Same thing can be said for Angel's Egg. I think it's about faith, but could be wrong. don't think there's a hardline answer. I don't think the director's given a hardline answer as to what the film is about, and I think that's the point. You're just meant to find your own interpretation of it, really. But yeah, it's a really good looking film in 1985 anime styles. Like the central character is a little girl. I think they put a lot of work into the detail in her hair because it's good looking hair. And it's quite short as well. So even though it is very art house, if you shouldn't find a hard time to get through it, even if you're not into that kind of film.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah, I'll watch it someday when I have time, when I'm not watching the Minecraft movie.
Yeah. Maybe drugs would enhance this viewing experience as well. I dare say.
I think I need a different kind of drug for this one. Don't do drugs, kids.
we don't endorse it.
Don't endorse it.
But yeah, the last Sydney Film Festival experience I had was yesterday. I had the privilege of watching Hideo Kojima and George Miller in conversation for about an hour and a bit. So for those that don't know, George Miller, acclaimed Australian director responsible for the Mad Max series, Happy Feet, Babe, I guess. I think he produced Babe, but didn't direct it. But he's
played Filthy Frank.
Yes, yes. But yes, very acclaimed director.
For those listening, no, they're different guys.
Yeah. Georgie.
I was gonna say it's like if he comes on stage and he's like
dressed as Pinkman,
singing that clips of you, yeah, Pinkman,
doing the Harlem Shake onto the stage.
Yeah, them being very sad for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
just.
And of course, Hideo Kojima is a game developer, probably most famously for Metal Gear Solid, which he's not involved in now. Since Konami famously kind of ousted him, but he did create that series. That was a Metal Gear Solid on the PS1 was like the first game that I played where I was like, wow, video games can actually be good. Because,
I mean, back then we just called it Tenchu with guns.
Yeah.
And then now it's like...
That's because we were skipping all the cutscenes. There's really long cutscenes in that game.
I wasn't skipping the cutscenes. What are you talking
There's
about?
A lot of exposition.
I don't have your bad habits.
There's a lot of exposition in those cutscenes, man. They're going on about like Foxhound and a lot of...
I know what you're doing. You're skipping cutscenes. I never skip the cutscenes.
I skipped some of them, I'll be honest.
Did you?
Like the one, I think one of the ones where
you already had TikTok brain when you were a kid,
but it doesn't let you skip the whole cutscene in one thing. It lets you skip there's like chapters in the cutscene that you can kind of skip to. But no, it's a really good game, and it's like his kind of approach to game development has always been like storytelling via games. He's not making Minecraft. He's making like intricate worlds and intricate stories.
He has very like serious political themes against like very like sort of heavy backdrops of war. But then he usually has very goofy moments.
Yeah, he's a pretty goofy guy.
I mean, Metal Gear Solid, I was watching gameplay of the Snake Eater remake, which is coming out pretty soon, and it showed off some of the Ape Escape side quest stuff that you can do, and I just remembered that was just a simple tie-in with the Ape Escape game back in the day, if you remember that. And now it's just been immortalized in Snake Eater as just some weird thing where you find these very stylistically differently drawn apes and you just capture them for rewards. Yeah, that's Kojima.
Totally forgot that was part of that game. I mean, that is Kojima pretty much. He's a very philosophical storyteller, but he's pretty silly as well. He's a pretty goofy guy. So him and George Miller worked together on Death Stranding 2. He typical to Kojima form, he scanned George Miller, acquired his soul, and then put it into his video game. So that's why they're kind of together at the moment, doing promo for Death Stranding 2, which is set to release pretty soon, I think. So yeah, they were just talking about their approaches to storytelling, the mutual respect that they have for each other. They seem to have a really good relationship. I think.
Yeah, I never heard of how good their relationship was together. So it's pretty interesting to hear how, I guess, seemingly close they are.
Well, yeah, I mean, Konami, I keep calling Konami. Hideo, like, idolizes George Miller, basically. Like, he talks about how when he saw the original Mad Max film when he was a teenager, and it kind of opened him up to that kind of storytelling, I guess. I mean, he's a really big fan of Western cinema, and you can kind of tell from his games as well. Like, there's a lot of inspiration drawn from Western cinema. Like, I mean, fucking
actors,
fucking
as well.
Solid Snake's named after Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken, yeah.
So, he's, I mean, he basically called George Miller his god several times throughout the interview.
Really?
I mean, there is a language barrier. I think Hideo can speak a bit of English, but he did have a translator with him. So, but like, yeah, they have a lot of mutual respect for each other as storytellers. Like George Miller as well says that he has learned a lot from working with Hideo and, you know, studying his works.
But not playing his games.
Yeah, he doesn't really play games. I mean, he's an old dude, you know. He's really nice though. He's got that kind of air of a like educated older Australian man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I think yeah.
Like we've been around those kinds of people. Like our parents, like teachers growing up, I guess, have a very similar air to them. Just really pleasant, really gentlemanly, but also a bit, you know, he goes on a bit. He went off on a couple of tangents, which is fine. You know, it's his time to talk. But
I don't know, what were the interesting points that he brought up?
So I guess
when he was
like
talking.
both of them, when talking about storytelling, because they work in different mediums, I guess. But like the main thing that they have in common is how they kind of use their mediums to tell stories, right? And like, I guess the thing that stood out to me was how they both see storytelling as something ancient, like something that has been around for thousands and thousands of years and will be around for thousands of years after they've passed. So like they do...
Yeah, through AI.
Yeah, and who knows what will happen in the future. But like they approach storytelling like they both want to tell meaningful stories, basically. They don't just want they don't just want to make throwaway things. They want to make things that will last. And I think both of them have been able to do that. One thing that's
definitely
stuck out from Kojima is like how he was talking about coming up with the idea for Death Stranding, a game that I haven't played, but him talking about it kind of made me more intrigued about like what it actually is, because he talked about like two of the oldest human tools, I guess, is the first one was the stick to like fight enemies away and fight, you know, like get rid of dangers. And the second was the rope to like bring things that you wanted closer, I guess, or to help secure things, right?
Yeah.
So like when he was trying to think of like what Death Stranding should be, it was kind of like a period where there were a lot of like divisions in the world that this is his interpretation, I guess. This was probably back in like 2016. So like pre-corona, but it was kind of like during the first Trump administration. These are his words. Okay, so let's not get political. But he was seeing a lot of division in the world. He talked about like walls being set up around the world, and like the same way that the rope is like the opposite end of the stick. He was talking about how bridges are the opposite end of a wall. While a wall is built to like separate things, a bridge is meant to connect things. So he really wanted to develop a video game that connected people. So he wanted to make a rope video game as opposed to a stick video game. I mean, again, I haven't played Death Stranding 2, but I'm led to believe that there's a bit of like community involved. It's kind of like about connection.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like when you play the game, you often come across other bases and other little things that other players have left behind, and you can send messages to them and you can give them a thumbs up. So you can often find like little pit stops and other cars and other things you can use to further yourself in the game. And it does add this kind of oddly cooperative aspect of the game, because it's a single player game. You could play it offline, but I think you lose a lot of that charm that is unique to that game. I don't think there's a game that has it. The only other system, it's funny because they actually use this system is used to Kojima's intent, where another example is the Dark Souls
where it's
game,
just used for trolling.
but people use that for trolling. Yeah, like jump ahead and you just die. Invisible wall. There's nothing there. And so, in this sense, Kojima succeeded in building that community where, obviously, I'm not going to say From Software failed.
Well, that's an example of a stick game, right? So that's the opposite end of it, which is fine as well. You need both, I think.
It's pretty funny. It's actually pretty cool to hear how that does kind of affect the mentality of gamers, because with the stick game, you're not helping each other. You're just trolling. But in this one, you are genuinely happy to come across like a bunker or a shelter, because like one of the game mechanics is there's this thing called time fall, which erodes your vehicles a bit, so you need to usually find a shelter nearby, but you haven't reached that far or to build one, or you don't have enough resources to. But if you come across another player's kind of safe haven, you can go there. And then it's quite nice to spot, and it could like save your life essentially. And then you can give them a like, you know, like, you give them a like, and then you give them a thumbs up, and you can make Sam do like goofy things as well. So it's interesting. That's cool.
I found it really enlightening, and it's just really cool to see two dudes at like the top of their game, just like showing, like explaining their intent, which is not always obvious, I guess, when you're playing these things or watching these things. So really cool. Enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad I got that chance to see them. And cool. Like Kojima seems like a pretty fun guy. He was hanging out with the Raka brothers. Who he did also scan and put into his game. So they're going to make a cameo appearance. Apparently they have a pretty decent role in the game. So good on them.
Would they like make a really sad quest line in the game as well?
Well, the screenshots, the pictures I saw of them getting scanned look pretty silly. So maybe not. We'll see.
We'll see. It's a mislead, and it's just like they had like the most devastating like side quests in the game.
Maybe.
Just really sad.
All right. Well, shall we move it along?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tastefully Yours. This is a Korean drama, my favorite kind of media. It is current.
I was so surprised when you started watching this movie. Anyway, I'll let you continue. I was kind of cut you off.
So it is currently streaming on Netflix. We'll probably just do full spoilers, I reckon. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's fine. There's not really that much to spoil, to be honest.
But I will say that I did enjoy it, and it is not as long as other K-dramas. So even if you're not into K-dramas like me, I think it's still extremely watchable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it's basically about a very corporate restaurateur who's part of a big restaurateur empire who usually steals other people's recipes and sells them to his own restaurants. and he comes across another chef who does everything by, I guess, organic matters. She's very of the land, uses local ingredients.
She doesn't care about profits. It's all about the food for her.
And it is. And it's basically about them trying to open up like a small restaurant in a small country village near Seoul, I guess, because they're always traveling back to and back from Seoul, like very easily.
It is in Jeonju, which I think is about 1.5 hour drive, I think.
Oh, yeah, it's not actually that far.
Yeah, because I'm planning to go to Seoul later this year, so I did have a look.
Yeah, you looked it up. I was going to say, because there's periods of time where he needs to rush back to Seoul and rush back. And like, I don't know if that's geographically correct.
He goes to fucking Hokkaido and back in like one morning. So
that's true.
He's just a busy guy, you know? But yes, you're right. So Han Bom-woo is the sleazy corporate guy played by Kang Ha-nul. Initially he signs a contract with Mo Yeon-ju, played by Go Min-si, but initially he's just trying to steal her recipes, basically. But through her, he learns the value of food and having a heart and not being obsessed with the corporate rat race, as it were.
And she just happens to be very good looking.
Yeah, I'm sure that helps. I guess that helps her along.
Yeah. If she wasn't, then it'd just be like, I'm taking your recipe, and that's the end of the series. No lesson is learned. But anyway, that's not why you watch any of these shows. But no, I came across this show because I follow like Go Min-si on Instagram because I became a fan of hers after The Frog, which was a good but disappointing series, which I've mentioned a couple of times on this podcast. But she does a really good job at playing psycho women, I guess. She kind of has a similar role in The Witch, where she plays like a child, one of those superpowered child killers.
Right.
Not a killer of child. She's a young
she's a killer that is a child, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I think she's in Sweet Home as well. I don't know what her role is in that, but it's more action orientated. It's a bit more sullen. So I think this is kind of a change for her to just play, I guess, cute girl in Korean drama rom-com. But I think what really attracted me was the shots of food. I really like these shows where they shoot cooking really, really well. They do it in the Michael, which we were going to talk about, but we didn't. And,
good show, though.
It is a good show. And one of my like favorite Japanese films, Little Forest, which I think I've talked about a couple of times. So I was really looking forward to watching a lot of that really meditative shots of people cooking food. And there is that in this show as well. But there's also somewhat of a kind of an anime arc where they sort of come across other characters who join their restaurant.
Yeah, it did feel very anime at times.
Yeah. And I think I messaged you when I watched the first few episodes, and I actually really thoroughly enjoyed the first 4 episodes of this show. I think it really got to the point. I really like the characters. I like the energy, and I like the arc that they were setting up. Because you know what arc they're going to set up is Han Bum is obviously going to learn, I don't need to be such a corporate bastard.
Because he's also going to fall in love with Mo Yeon-ju, of course, at some point.
Yeah. Yeonju's arc was almost kind of went in a different direction than I expected to. I thought her arc was going to be more like you need to compromise.
Yeah, because initially she is like very stubborn, right? And like
she's very stubborn.
Bom-woo is kind of trying to give her advice as to how to make her restaurant profitable. Like you gotta hire staff, you gotta like buy cheaper ingredients sometimes.
You gotta give the people what they want. You gotta give them meat. You can't just make veggie.
You gotta put tables in your restaurant, for example. And she does compromise though. In fairness, she does do all of those things. But you're right. She doesn't really learn that much from him. Maybe it's a bit unbalanced.
Yeah, like I jokingly said when I was messaging you, like this is a representation of me and you in the podcast a few years down. It's like, oh, you know, we got to do SEO. We got to talk about Star Wars, man. Like, nah, I don't want to fucking talk about Star Wars. You got to get the people what they want.
It's pretty much that.
It's like, no, we got to talk about fucking indie Asian dramas that can't be streamed anyway. You have to like get them through like the hardest of alleys, and then you have to get the subtitles separately kind of shit. You got to trek through the mountains.
We got to talk about movies that are impossible to find.
That's how we got to get
That's
it.
where success is.
And we actually do have somewhat of a success doing that. Well, some of our recent episodes are the more indie ones. So maybe more Yeonju's
right.
Yeonju's right, yeah. But yeah, no, I also found it to be very funny. They have a couple of companions.
Yep, they meet.
I've got their names.
Chung Song, played by Yoo Soo-bin, who is he's the clown of the group, I guess, but also the alcohol expert. And they also employ kitchen hand Myung-suk, played by Kim Shin-rock.
Yeah, Myung-suk,
who helps them in the restaurant. She's also comic relief, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're both, but they seem to have somewhat of a. It seems like they're setting up an arc for them, or not setting up, but more of a presence. But yeah, I mean, they come along, and I mean, Chung Song, it kind of is a foil at first because he is sort of like part of it, like almost like a rival sort of restaurant. And they have some pretty funny antics together when they try to screw him over at some points. Yeah. But I really enjoyed everyone in the Han, I guess the Han restaurateur group. Like we got Bum Woo as the main.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he's really fun to watch.
He's really fun to watch. And his family kind of deliciously evil.
Yeah, we got his brother, who is Sun Woo, Han Sun Woo. Yeah, so he's the eldest son of the Hansang Corporation and the head of La Laisselle, a 2-star fine dining restaurant. Yeah, he's really well casted, this guy.
Yeah, he's really well casted, yeah.
He looks like a mean older brother, doesn't he?
and then their really mean mum as well. It's definitely like you can tell that this show was written by like a guy, because it just seems to be a thing about Koreans just like having evil mother characters.
Well, we talked about it in Tangerines.
In Tangerines, yeah. It's just like I don't know where these characters come from. Their mum is just like so mean, but she's the one that sort of pits them against each other to a point.
She does.
And she's just like she's a celebrity chef or something, but she bakes it. And she's basically that character. Yeah, she's that character in Futurama. Yeah. The character of Mom in Futurama, if you remember her. She's like, I don't know.
Her
I don't remember.
Public face is very sweet, but behind closed doors, she's slapping her employees. She's firing people at a whim. So she's that kind of character. She's a very cold-hearted lady behind the scenes. And she's very driven, so she's very focused on success. And her main goal is achieving a 3-star restaurant in her corporation. So that's kind of what she tasks her 2 sons to do. The first one to give her a 3-star restaurant basically can take over the corporation.
Yeah. I mean, then you got a couple of other characters. You got that celebrity chef, so
this is
like the hot
this
one
is Jung Young
something?
Hye, played by Hong Hwa-yeon. She is the head chef of Moto, which is initially it's Bomu's main restaurant, but he kind of gets kicked out of it for a bit. So she's the hot celebrity chef.
Yeah, but then there's the manager guy that is like a simp for like
Eugene's assistant. Bomu's assistant, Eugene. He's pretty funny as well.
He's a funny character as well, yeah. But I mean, like, I really enjoyed the first 4 episodes because there was typical K-drama stuff, like, you know, of them slowly growing accustomed to each other, but they're sort of working towards making the restaurant like a name. So the plot is moving forward and you want them to succeed, and it kind of culminates in this food truck challenge that they can win a lot of money because there's a plot point where the restaurant is burnt down. So they need like 10 grand or something, or 30 grand. And this local food truck festival just happens to be there. And then Bongwoo's evil brother catches whiff of this and then says they'll sponsor it and then they'll participate in themselves. But I enjoyed everything leading up to that because the focus was on the food, the focus was on the 4 main characters, and they're all really fun to watch. I
like how each episode kind of had like a mission that they had to complete. It felt very anime in that. Like each episode kind of had like a, like a 3-act structure. Yeah.
I found it very easy to watch. Like when the episodes were released, I think I would just watch them like 2 episodes when they were released, and I was like, I could almost binge it, and I could almost say like I found it easier to watch than like Tangerine almost, because it's melodramatic, but it's cut with a lot of the light comedy aspect of it.
And it's never like, the stakes are never really huge. It's never life or death kind of things.
They do break a lot of fucking laws in this show, so I wonder if that is just
what do you mean? What laws do they break? Oh yeah, blackmailing.
I don't know, blackmailing, kidnapping,
fraud, I guess, arson, I guess,
fraud, arson, and also, you know, like for rigging of television results as well. Like you can't. It's just like, it's whatever, you know. It's just fine. Like it's just writers just coming up with shit. But the show comes to a massive grinding halt from episode 5 to maybe 7 or 8. You're talking about the Hokkaido.
Yeah, I didn't mind 5. 5 was the one where they cook for the couple. That are getting married. No,
that,
which turns out to be a big plot point later that comes back later on.
Okay, no, actually, no, you're right. I did like that episode as well. What I'm basically talking about is when they go to Hokkaido.
Yeah. So this is where you get Yeonju.
It becomes a real K-drama. I think Yeonju was more interesting when I didn't know much about her. I think her backstory made me like her character a lot less.
Okay.
I think I liked the idea that she wasn't a fine dine trained chef. She just had a knack for it.
Yeah, because that's like a very anime thing as well. Like somebody that's not been professionally trained but just has natural talent. But
she has been professionally trained.
It does turn out that her backstory basically is that she was an orphan that grew up in like a temple monastery situation, raised by monks. But then she developed a passion for cooking, so she went to study at a prestigious culinary school and ended up working in one of the top restaurants one of the top French restaurants in Hokkaido, in Sapporo. And then basically the Diamante group of assessors, which is the group that gives like 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars in this world.
Well, I mean, like her big thing is that she was exiled from.
Yeah, she took the fall for some guy.
She took the fall for some guy, and like because they were dating, right? That was the thing. Yeah, but the show was too short in a sense that I didn't buy that she would do that for this guy. Like, I don't think it didn't seem like she liked him that much for her to just give up, you know?
I mean, the problem is you don't really get to see them interact that much, like while they were having their love affair, I guess. Like we see the aftermath where she hates him and you see flashbacks of her,
but that's the thing,
like eating with him.
But like they didn't build it up enough. And the issue is, if they did build it up, this plotline is just boring. I really lost a lot of interest of this show. For this backstory. For me, you know, being a millennial older Asian guy who'd be like, I'd be more interested in following like Go Min-shi's character. I like the actor more. So, and I'm watching the show for her and the cooking. I like Bong-woo's character better.
Yeah.
You know, he had a better arc. He was funnier to watch. He's almost like surprisingly more sincere in what he's trying to do, in a sense. It's just this whole arc of her going back to Hokkaido with this like baby face guy.
Yeah, his
and then,
character's name is John Min.
Her chef has got dementia. Yeah. She's going back, I gotta find the meal that made, like, I didn't give a fuck who this Japanese chef was. Just popped out of nowhere, you know. They just did not have enough time. And I don't know if this show was based off a webtoon or something. I think this is just the brief is we need a love triangle and we need typical K-drama stuff. And this is like, for the reasons that you dislike K-drama, like it kind of came into fruition for me disliking this show, because at this point on, it felt too much like a K-drama. And this is the point of me being surprised that we're even talking about this show in the first place, because I think I told you that this happened and it really dropped off, and then you're like, yeah, we just started watching it. And I was like, okay, you're watching it now. I was quite surprised. I didn't think that you would enjoy it as much as you did. But I mean, like, I'm keen to hear what won you over, what made this show more special than some other K-dramas.
I think it was mainly the pacing and the anime feel of the first few episodes, at least. Like it's a lot shorter than most K-dramas that I've watched. And it didn't.
Yeah. The pacing is good. Well, for the most part. Yeah.
It didn't feel very long. But yeah, you're right. Like the Hokkaido arc is the worst part of it. But even that is only like 3 episodes, maybe.
It's too. That's like a third of the series.
Yeah. It's a real shame because and I guess the thing that got me through that arc was like how good Sapporo looks in general, because it's clearly filmed there, and it's just compared to like the Korean scenery, it looks really good.
The Korean stuff looks good, man. It's all right.
But I don't know. I agree with you. I think it was just there for the love triangle, but even the love triangle is not very strong. Because Bong-woo does go to Sapporo eventually, but I think there's not enough animosity between him and John Min.
Yeah, it's not. It's because it's tacked on. This whole plot just feels tacked on. I think it would have been after episode 5, because I would just watch the previews of the next episode. And I think when I saw the preview of this introduction of this new guy, I think I was like, oh shit, like it's going to be a filler episode, isn't it? And then it wasn't one, but it was like 3 filler episodes. But they do cut to stuff happening back at the restaurant.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, it just seemed like every other character was just kind of just fumbling around, like not doing anything. I mean, there's a little bit of a plot line between the hot chef and the manager trying to steal the recipes or something. But other than that, it was just...
the story can't really...
even know what they were doing.
The story couldn't really advance until Yeonju and Bong-woo were finished in Sapporo and came back to Seoul, pretty much. Like, they kind of really had to pause the story for this, for this useless love triangle. Like, John Min doesn't even do anything later in the series. He doesn't come back or anything. So...
he's just like, nah, see ya. He's like, that part of our life's over. Later.
Yeah. Because there's a plot point where Han-sung is like going to acquire his restaurant, but like they just don't in there because Bong-woo screws him over basically. But
even that was just kind of just like, I just did this because his evil mother let him back on the board for no reason.
Yeah,
really.
we don't get to see that.
So this could happen.
And like the thing with the Japanese chef having dementia, it didn't really do anything either. He was just cured in the end.
Nah.
And he just forgave John Min for... I don't even know what John Min was doing. Was he like withholding his medication?
Yeah, I think so. Because it seemed like he was withholding his medication so he could become more senile and the dementia would kick in more and then he could, I guess, take over the restaurant. But he's like, yeah, we're cool. And it's like, no,
that's not cool, I think.
That's basically murder, essentially. There you go. And that's
another crime to add to the
breaking
list,
of the law. Another crime, right? Yeah, it's like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
I forgive you.
You just caused like even more permanent damage to my brain. But that's all right. We all forgive you because we're family,
Yeah.
But the whole aspect of that restaurant, I guess it's family, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, there's a bit of that.
But you don't even know anything about the other chefs, and they kind of try to do it with the other restaurants as well.
Yeah.
But it's just it was too short.
There's a bit of that. Like they do evil stuff, but it's all to preserve the life of their restaurants so that people can have jobs.
Yeah.
But really, these are like pretty top tier like chefs. I'm pretty sure they can just get another job.
Find a chef, yeah.
So,
I mean, like I'm pretty sure Macca's is
yeah, Korean McDonald's is pretty good quality.
Nah. I mean, look at Yeonju. She sort of came back on her feet, but like it kind of made it less sense that I mean, Yeonju being a trained chef and having worked in kitchen would know, like, yeah, you need damn tables and you need a staff. Like, you can't be that stubborn.
Well, I mean, she worked at a restaurant, but she didn't really manage a restaurant, right? So,
yeah, but like you would see shit, I managed a restaurant. I see what happens in the kitchen. It's not like, oh, do I turn a stove on or something? Like, it's like it's just kind of you should know.
It's common sense.
I mean, you don't
at
have
a
to know
point.
100%.
You need tables to make money.
But it didn't really give her enough of a reason to be that stubborn. I think her backstory, because then her stuff about growing up with the monks, I also found really boring.
Yeah.
I found Yeonju. I like the character, but her backstory, I think, was really boring.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Well,
and there's some reveals as well that were just very mid, because you find out who burns down the restaurant, and you all assume that it's like the Han group, but it was just a disgruntled guy, and he forgives Bonwoo, and Bonwoo forgives him, and even gives him his own restaurant at the end of the movie. So I was just kind of like, is that it? that's
well, I
done.
think that guy was kind of meant to represent Bonwoo's shady past, right?
Yeah. It
kind
was,
of connected.
I don't know. It was just
it connected better than all the Yeonju stuff. I don't think any of the Yeonju stuff really connected to the character that we, grown accustomed to.
I don't know. I just found it like boring though. Just like I felt like it would have been better if they had just played up the evilness of Han, like. Let's let his brother do it. It would have been funnier. It would have been more entertaining.
His brother had like done pretty shady stuff before that. Like he gets Bonwoo kicked off the board by like framing him by pretending that a guy he blackmailed attempted suicide. That's pretty dog.
I think too many people get redemption arcs because then even Bonwoo's brother ends up being like he's an alright guy, and I find the ending to this series, it's a good ending overall, but I find it very unrealistic.
Yeah, okay. So basically it culminates, the show culminates in, Bonwoo kind of gets discovered as a rat by Yeonju and the others. Like, they find out that he had always intended to steal the recipes and take it back to Hansung group. So they're kind of mad at him. And then basically Yeonju's restaurant Jungjae and Bonwoo's restaurant Motto both receive a 3-star rating because of Yeonju's recipes, essentially.
Yeah, because of the chef. Oh yeah, the unlikable dad as well, and then he gets won over by food.
Oh yeah, that was good.
the healing part, that was good. I enjoyed that. He's like, can't
food and alcohol though. Man, I was saying like all you need is a drink. This guy needs a drink and he'll be right.
That's how you solve the war in Ukraine. Just like guys, have some of my food, and they're like,
intensely complex political political struggle.
Yeah. No, that's exactly. You know what? Things don't need to be that complex. Okay. Then You just need food. If this show is teaching you anything,
all you need is food.
Just make good food. It's like if someone is about to kill you, just say, hang on, just sit them down, cook them a nice meal.
Cook them a meal that reminds them of their family. And they'll be right. They'll settle down.
I have no family.
Like that beer ad, right? Oh no, the Jim Beam ad.
Yeah, the one joke ad, yeah. Even that had a happy ending. Even that's unrealistic as well.
So basically they both get 3-star ratings, which kind of pisses off the mum, Bomwoo's mum. So she orchestrates a cook-off, a battle of the two restaurants to find out which one is superior. A battle that Jung-jae wins, but she covers it up. She says that it's a tie.
Yeah. Well, it's because like Gorman, she's having a bit of a cry at the.
Oh man, that took ages as well.
And then and she has to cook. She has to cook a cake for this like screaming kid or some shit. Yeah. And then So, I was just like, can you like go back already? Like, I told you that shit is really boring, man. I didn't like, but it ends up being what's that character's name? Myung-suk. She ends up cooking and she wins. But the French chef that they cooked for, that like for the family that was getting married, he volunteers himself to be like one of the judges. And then the mum volunteers herself to be one of the judges, which is just, you can't really
no conflict of interest at all there.
There is
totally.
And because the way she covers it up, she opens the envelope and then it's got the votes, and it says Jung-jae has clearly won by 4 votes, and then she says it's a tie. Like, you can't, like, you actually, I don't know what the laws are in Korean
I mean, it wasn't
television.
an official competition. That's the thing. Like, it's television. You can do anything.
The thing, it's a televised, it is a clause, because I have a mate that works for MasterChef, and then, like, I always talk about how, like, this person clearly, like, they pick their winners and stuff, but it's actually illegal to orchestrate who wins who. Right? You can create a narrative, but it is... If it's a competition, the winner has to be like given, the prize. That's why there was all that issue with all the Mr. Beast. I think
someone should tell Mr. Beast this news. I was gonna say
Mr. Beast is the thing that would quell that is Mr. Beast has too much money. Hansung has too much money, because obviously it's all allegations, it's all alleged and stuff. But they clearly have all this shit on camera of the French guy storming off and saying, I do not agree to this. I don't accept this. You've got so many witnesses to say, like,
there would definitely be a whistleblower in that production.
No one can.
But the thing is, Thavy, nobody can speak French, so they didn't know what he was saying. They were probably like, I'm so mad at this tie. I'm off.
But it's just... You look at the card. It's written right there. You can't. Yeah. So anyway, because of movie, it's movie TV magic. So then, Yeonju's just like, hey, bitch, like, let's do this fair and square. I'm gonna cook for you for something tomorrow, and if you like it, you win. If you don't like it, I'll lose, and you can do whatever you want with my restaurant, kind of thing. So then, like, the family drives off and the mum's like, all I need is just a single shot of me spitting out the food. But it eventually wins that, she gets the boys together and she cooks like a family breakfast meal. I thought that was really
nice.
Very traditional.
Because like the expectation is really for her to, cook an amazing meal, right? Like something that's going to blow her taste buds out of the water. But, she brings in the messaging of, food is more about familial ties than anything. It's about who's eating it rather than who's cooking it. And it's like it works in the estranged family aspect that they've got going on. So I think it was a really good kind of like idea to tie this story together.
Yeah. So I think the mother admits defeat, and then everyone's all happy in the end. But
I mean, she doesn't entirely melt. Like, I think that was good as well, that she didn't like. I was expecting single tear kind of like I finally understand kind of thing. But no, she's pretty.
She still has her
she's
pride.
very much the same still, but like she acknowledges that, it's good. It's good shit.
Yeah, but like I was going to say, I still find this ending very, very unrealistic because I know with the way the heads of Korean corporate CEO business are, they don't give a fuck whether your shit is good. If they can screw you over and make themselves better, she would have spread out that food. Like 100%, if this was a real situation, she would not give in. She wouldn't give a shit about that. She would just like, I'm talking about a certain, I'm using a certain other company as
it could be a couple of companies, let's face it.
It could be a couple of companies, a couple of Korean companies. But without a shadow of a doubt, this is such an overly optimistic ending. And this is where the cynical part of me kind of comes out. Because, of course, you know that she's going to... I knew 100% that Yeonju was not going to lose. But it's just kind of like, it doesn't really work that way in the real life. You just get screwed over because people don't give a fuck about... This bitch is so evil, man. She would not give a fuck about having like a traditional meal with her son. She's got a fucking food empire. Like she didn't care. Stomp on the weak. The victors. History is written by the victors, man. Didn't give a fuck. She'd have like Yeonju would just be like executed off screen.
I get it. But at the same time, like again, the stakes were not that high. Even if she had, if she had spat it out and Yeonju had to like close down Jungjae, like she could just open like somewhere else, you know?
No. I know this bitch would have so much power. She says, "I'll make sure this chef can never enter this industry again." And I wholeheartedly believe that if that was said by any of the other people that we're basing this off, you better believe that they're going to do that. Because the way that Korean media works, the way that people that consume Korean...
at the moment, we are currently going through a NJZ lawsuit situation that, obviously it's not great for them.
It's not great for them.
So yes.
That's talking about that shit makes me sad. Obviously, it's shitty, So that's kind of the real life equivalent. They don't give a fuck. It's like, you make good music. I don't give a fuck. I just spit it out. Gonna make something like gnarly instead. Let's do that. That's right. That's what the kids want. Anyway.
But no, this is a K-drama, so it ends very pleasantly. It's a nice, pleasant ending. Like Bonwoo and Yeonju, they get together, they become a cute couple. Bonwoo learns a lesson.
I would have liked to have seen more of a rivalry between like the hot chef and Yeonju, because it seems like they were setting something up, but then like. I think because she kind of feels guilty for stealing Yeonju's recipes, but then at the end she's like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna quit now because I feel a bit bad. See you later." So they obviously ran out of time.
Well, they take turns in quitting. Bonwoo quits, and then Younghye quits, and then Eugene quits. You're right. They do establish a rivalry between the two, but then. Younghye just ends up stealing Yeonju's recipes anyway and getting the 3 stars that way, which doesn't really track with her character because she's got pride as a chef as well. But then she's just like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, so I think that's the issue with the history of how K-dramas are written. This is all just speculation from my part, but because I don't think this was a Netflix original. This was on TV, so it was on network television. Right. So I think the way the shit is written is it's written episode by episode, sort of like almost week by week with somewhat of an arc that they have. But it's all like contract based, we need this actor to appear in it a certain amount of times. And then they can just change whatever arc that they want to. They can add whatever. And the issue is they have all these characters now, or they have all these actors that they need to put into the show to meet the obligation. That story is going to take a bit of a
It's very similar to how Fast and Furious movies are made now. So you've got this ensemble cast. Each actor has very specific contractual things to work around. So story, like you said, takes a back seat.
You should like I talked about it. Mr. Plankton, I think, has the most tightly written K-drama structure. It's 10 episodes as well, but I think for the most part, all the characters have something to do with each other and all have satisfying arcs. So I think for me, that's almost like for a K-drama rom-com, I guess. That's probably like the perfect sort of blueprint in a sense. Yeah. That shows it's kind of underrated, I reckon. Yeah. But I didn't like that show at first, but it grew on me and I realized, hey, the writing for this show and the handling of its characters, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like everyone had their purpose. But in this one, yeah, like just I don't know. I really wanted to like the show a lot more. I think even the food stuff started to get a little bit less interesting as well. There's not as much, I guess, food porn shots in the show as I thought there was going to be. All the food looks good, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. You kind of stay for the comedy aspect for it, really. But yeah, I don't know. This show is just fine. I think, like good characters, but just it drags and just I think mediocre backstories. I guess too much focus on backstory and then just leaving other characters. It's uneven, I guess. The narrative's a bit uneven for me.
I think you're right. I think if Yeonju had a stronger backstory, it would have been much improved. Because we don't really get a backstory for Bomwoo either. So the only backstory we get is for Yeonju, and it is like a real dead point in the show. And it really takes focus away from the main story that's going on, which is the more interesting story. But I think like it got off to a cracking start, and I think that's kind of what carried me through it. And I really like the characters as well. Like all of the characters, even the bad characters, the ones that are evil, I really enjoyed watching.
Because they're really fun to watch. Like you hate the characters, but you enjoy watching the performance because it's just Koreans do these characters really well. Just really like under your skin, unlikable. Because they always like have like, especially with the guys, because they're always in a physicality frame, they're always like a little bit weaker than the main character, like looking, but more slimy, more not even cunning, just like more. Just
I think cunning. I think cunning is the right word. Yeah,
cunning. Yeah, maybe cunning. Yeah. There's just something
slightly sinister
because they're
about
like little
them.
bitch. Yeah.
It's good shit. And it's pretty funny as well.
Did you hear about the? There was a bit of controversy about this show. Not about the show, but with Gormin Shi.
Oh, you did mention a little bit, but like, what's the deal? Shibuli? Is that what?
So this is again another lovely this
is why we love
results of Korean
this aspect of Korean culture.
we love aspect of Korean culture. So it is alleged that Gormin Shi was like a massive bully back in the day in like high school or middle school, and then someone came out and just said, oh yeah, there's this particular actress and she used to take my lunch money and shit and stuff. She didn't I don't think she named the actress, but people somehow just led that it was Gormin Shi, and then she had to cancel a lot of appearances, I think. Her company like strongly denies it, and they're gonna take like this person to court and shit, because it's like, that's defamation. I think the person said, yeah, like, I don't want any money. I just want her to not act in films anymore. So it's kind of like, that's paraphrasing a bit, but I don't know. Because obviously this person wouldn't have said anything if the allegations were true. She wouldn't have known if she wasn't like famous. But Gormin Shi has been famous for a little while now. She's been in a fair few stuff, so it's kind of like, why now, especially? But like, to be the devil's advocate as well, like Gormin Shi's got crazy like psycho bitch energy as well that I've seen in some of her other stuff. But I think, I don't know, like it's hard because like I'd take like Min Chi's side because I like her work, but like I don't know.
Sometimes people can be bullies.
But yeah, like I don't know K-Nets, any fans of like Korean shit, man, like I've really not been into for the past like year or so. I have very little faith in netizens of Korean stuff, I guess. There's something particularly toxic about people into Korean media. I don't know why. Yeah. Like it's just
they're very impassioned. And very cool, I guess. Yeah. So
very unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean, like, we can't really say either way whether she was a bully or not. Even if she was a bully, like, it's probably a long time ago. People can change, you know. People
can change, so
whatever. It is kind of like whatever. It probably won't affect her career, but maybe it will. Maybe I
know how like that shit works because like there's often, especially for I think female celebrities in Korea, if you accuse them of something and then people will like go at them, like have a go at their reputation. They'll have that bad reputation, but then when it's proven that they were innocent of it, they still have that reputation of being like an evil person. Whether it's a guy, people are a bit more forgiving of guys or male celebrities. Yeah. So it's just a typical
patriarchy.
East Asian patriarchy shit. Yeah. We're horrible people.
I mean, it's not that much different to in the West, you know, like a male actor can be proven to be a pedophile, but he'll still make a comeback at some point. So
I mean, are you talking about Chris
I could be talking about many people, Thavy, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the difference is with Western and Korea, with East Asians, that Western people will just like play into it. Like, what the fuck? I don't give a shit. And then they're just like, and then people will just buy their stuff again. And that's it. It's all is forgiven.
Whereas in people in Korea, they might do something bad to themselves.
It's just like shame.
So, that's a dark way to end this TV show. That
this very light TV show.
Around. But that's what it is. Tastefully Yours. A bit of fun, I think. Like I enjoyed it probably more than you did. It's not a perfect show, but I will say pretty easy to digest. Pun intended.
Yeah, I think it's good to watch. Like I don't know, it's kind of like a good date show kind of thing. You can watch it with your partner. It's very inoffensive. It's fun. Like I probably talk about how it seems like I don't like this show. I do like this show. I just think it had a lot of potential to almost be like one of those like very surprising hits of the year for me if it was handled just a little bit better. And that was probably the same for Min-Chi and the Frog as well, which almost had the potential to be one of my favorites of last year, but there was too much in it, you know. It was ruined by the TV format. But for this show, the TV format worked. It's just boring backstories, a little bit too much floundering in the second half. But I think the cook-off was fun. I needed more like competition shit. Like I don't need characters finding themselves. Like you can do your Hokkaido shit. Just do that in one episode and then move on. Yeah. Like, you know, True. Like I don't care about any of that shit. But
boy, Hokkaido looks good though.
Got a contract. Yeah. Is that actor really popular? The guy who plays the
probably.
He probably is. So
is his name? Yoon Suk.
Yeah, he probably like. There's probably like a lot of chicks getting wet watching this show for that guy. So maybe they love the show because he's in
Sunshine and Hospital Playlist.
Oh fuck, he's like 41 years old. He looks like he's like fucking 25, man.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the younger counterpart of the villain in Old Boy.
Is he? Oh,
I'm just quickly looking up there. Yeah, he's got the chubby face. And, wow, he's a pretty good looking guy for 40 years old. God damn, man.
So
that's some fucking skincare routine.
It's like Korean skincare, Thavy. It's next level.
Yeah, no, he's a bit of a veteran. He's been in the industry for a little while.
That's why you got to put him in 3 episodes at least, Thavy. You can't just give him 1 episode. You got to sacrifice the story for it. That's how it works.
Yep, that's how it works. Well, it's better than anything Disney released, so it's fine.
Yeah. If he gets punched in the face, he's got to punch someone in the face. That's how it works. All right.
Oh yeah, he does get punched in the face. I don't remember. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this filler episode. Filler episode of Two Asian Blokes.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody enjoyed it. But what did you think of this show? If you've seen it, Tastefully Yours, did you like it, guys, or did you feel like it felt kind of flat at times? Let us know. You can get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us at twoasianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Two Asian Blokes to see what we're up to.
Yes.
Don't forget, guys.
Stay tuned for, I don't know what we're doing next. Something.
You know what we're doing next. We're doing more Korean shit next. We're doing animated Korean shit next.
Oh, yeah. We're doing that movie. Oh yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be.
Oh, but yeah, big things coming in July as well. So that'll be exciting. Stay tuned for that.
Do you want to announce? Can we properly announce?
Let's do it at the start of next episode.
Done some work on it already.
Because by now people have tuned off. I know you don't understand how YouTube works, but people have definitely tuned off by now. They've switched to another thing.
Switch to another. I don't know. What people watch?
They've switched to I don't know, Mr. Beast maybe. They've switched to
Mr. Beast.
Switched to a Penguins video. So that's why you got to do all your plugs in the first 1 minute of the video. So we'll do it next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look forward to that if you're still around. The one person that's still around, look forward to that.
Or the 0 people that are still around.
Yeah. We'll see what the analytics say. Until next time, guys. See you later.
All right. See ya.